It's been on the market here in North America for less than 2 years, but already the Seltos is getting a pretty cool refresh. Let's get into it. All right, we'll start with comparing the exterior design, then we'll go talk about the engine and sales numbers, and also just keep in mind that we don't have full specifications on this refresh yet. So the jury's out to see if there will be changes on powertrains, if there will be, let's say, like a hybrid, but as of right now, power changes probably will carry over. So let's just talk about the exterior, and the headlights are probably the biggest change here. We see the daytime running lights. I'm kind of getting like a Kia Carnival vibe here that kind of start at the corner. They have a little zigzag and they go across in the front. So the daytime running lights are definitely a cool step up. The Tiger Nose grille gets even better looking. That's one of the Kia signature design points. So very happy with how it looks here. The daytime running lights are vertical, but they look a little bit more futuristic instead of the individual LEDs that we have on the old model. I actually don't know if the bottom looks better. This is kind of taking vibes from the Santa Fe. I don't like the bottom portion of the Santa Fe's front bumper, where in the old Seltos, it's clean. They're not trying to do too much, where I feel like they're absolutely trying to do too much. And that's the downside of the Korean designs. If they just took one step back, one or two design cues away from the vehicle, it'll look more clean. Now, the body lines look to be the same. The hood looks to be the same, which is great because I do think the Kia Seltos overall is a very handsome little crossover. We got new wheel designs, and I think it's probably time to go ahead and check out the back. But one last thing here is that we have paint matched door handles compared to this model. Now, it could be comparing different trims here. And also we have chrome around the bottom of the window where we have like a darkened chrome or a glossy black here. Now this is a two-tone paint, which you can get on the current Seltos, as we'll find out here in a little bit. Here's another look of that two-tone paint on the current design. And how do you think it stacks up against the upcoming refresh? I think it's very similar. And I still think at the very bottom, this is a cleaner looking front bumper than we have these like bulldog fangs at the bottom. Now, comparing the rear, I think this is where it's an upgrade. I would say over the last one, where the front end, there, like I said, there's pros and cons to the new one. But we have a light bar. And light bars are getting kind of played out at this point, but I'm still digging this light bar. We have the new Kia logo. The rear bumper has been redesigned. We kind of have this diffuser skid plate thing at the very bottom. We don't have fake exhaust tips. Thank you, Kia. These fake exhaust tips almost look very similar to like the Kia K5, which I'm not a big fan of those fake design cues. And then the reflectors and reverse lights look to be down here, integrated into the bumper this time around. Now we're going to have some fun with the interior. This is where this vehicle is getting a huge upgrade. Exterior, they didn't need to do much. They didn't do a whole lot. I think overall it's a better looking vehicle on the outside, but on the inside here, this is pretty cool. And we have LED lighting in here, not only in the speakers and the door panels, but we have it on the front of the dash in a similar spot we saw on the EV6, or should I say the Ioniq 6 the other day. The shifter, we have a rotary dial. Not a big fan of rotary dials. I do prefer to have the traditional shift stick as the shifter, but it doesn't look bad here as the rotary dial. So I guess it cleans up the interior. Now, the climate control is vastly different. And we have a volume and tuning knob integrated in here. And before, this whole panel was just climate control. Now they took away the climate control knob, which I'm not that happy about, but at least we still have the tuning knob and the volume knob. But they brought these screen controls and integrated it into the climate control down here. The screen is just so much better implemented into the dash instead of literally looking like it's glued onto the dash. So the design overall in the interior is much more pleasant looking, even if it's not quite as functional since we don't have the rotary dial for the climate control. At least we still have hard touch buttons here for that climate control. Steering wheel looks to be identical, but behind the steering wheel is another 10-inch screen. So gone is this, what looks to be a 7-inch screen. I'm just taking a stab at it. I don't remember off the top of my head. Gone are the analog gauges, and we have a fully digital screen here. Now, is this going to be standard? We don't know yet. We don't have like pricing, packaging, and full details of this model. stay tuned because it probably will be revealed in the next couple months, the full details. Same things with like the Ioniq 6 that I talked about earlier this week. Now we have another interior trim with this caramel color, which that's more my cup of tea. I prefer to have lighter interiors. Brown's not my favorite, but if I have a nice light brown, it goes a long ways for me. It looks like you have heated and ventilated seats here. Drive mode underneath the drive selector. Looks like we still have old school USB-A's in here, which I feel like Hyundai and Kia and even Genesis for that matter are still sticking to USB-A's. There's nothing wrong with that, but USB-C's are superior. And like I said, we don't have official specs, packaging, pricing, but if we go over to the Kia page, got to keep in mind we have two all-wheel drive systems here, and you can get it in front-wheel drive too if you want. But let's compare it to one of its biggest rivals, which is the Honda HR-V that just got redesigned. Make sure to watch my video review on it when I was driving it in the mountains outside of Portland, Oregon. Super fun and gorgeous. Really like the car, but it's not perfect. No car is, right? So one of the advantages of this Seltos is that it has torque vectoring and a center differential lock, regardless of whether you get the naturally aspirated 2-liter or whether you get the turbo. You get a CVT here on the non-turbo engine, but if you upgrade to the Nightfall Edition or the SX, guys, we have turbo power here. 1.6 liter, 175 horse, and 195 pound-feet of torque. This thing, it definitely has a lot more scoot to it, not only than the HR-V that I drove, but the Corolla Cross, as well as the Volkswagen Taos that I just drove this week. Also like that Taos, you have a 7-speed dual clutch, which the 7-speed dual clutch is nothing to write home about. It looks better on paper than it is driving. Check out my Elantra inline video with this 7-speed. It's not that impressive. Also, the Kona inline that I drove had the same 7-speed, so it's not that impressive of a transmission. Is it better than a CVT? Yeah, I would say so. Is it smoother? No, but it's definitely a faster, more responsive transmission most of the time. Heading over to car figures, this is going to wrap up our video here talking about sales. Sales for this year per month started off around 2,000. Surged to 4,000, then we even hit close to 5,000, then it's been in a fall since then. So I don't know if they're ramping up for the refresh or if it's a supply chain issue sort of thing going on right now. It's hard to say. If we look at yearly sales, they're selling about 45 to 50,000 or so per year. 2022, it's probably going to be less than that based off of this fall in a volume that we're seeing. But I'm going to end it there, guys. If you're in the market for a small compact crossover thing, don't even know what to call these things anymore. Are you interested in the looks of the new Seltos? Would you pick the new HR-V? Would you pick the Volkswagen Taos? Would you pick the Corolla Cross? But the thing is that this market is so, like, because it's kind of a budget entry-level market. Toyota has the unfair advantage here with their hybrid version of the Corolla Cross coming out, guys. It's going to have the best in-segment fuel economy. It's also going to have arguably the best horsepower, 195 horsepower, which strips out even this turbocharged Seltos here. So I can't wait to see it and drive the new Seltos, but I think the bully out of this pack is going to be the Corolla Cross hybrid. What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys would pick down below if all prices are the same. Let's say you have $30K to spend on one of these. That puts you at the top of the line. The HR-V with that EXL grade, it also puts you kind of middle grade with the Taos. It puts you top of the line for the Corolla Cross. It also puts you top of the line with this Kia Seltos. Let me know what your decision would be. The hybrid though, you get the power and fuel economy. I'm going to end it there. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe for more Kia news along the way. Catch you in the next one, and peace out.